we are now going to talk about compound inequalities. What does compound sound like? Two or more. Very good. Same thing within English. Now, y'all have had compound sentences in English, right?
Yeah.
What do you remember about your compound sentences in English? How did you make a compound sentence?
It's two words, or well, it's a compound word too, right?
So how did you create a compound
You
sentence?
put two sentences
Subject
together.
and verb.
Put two sentences together. So how do you think we're going to get compound inequalities?
Put two
inequalities.
Two inequalities together. Oh, y'all might be A students. I don't know. Okay, so now we have a math word that's also a real word. When you say intersection, what do you think of? Don't look at the screen yet.
Intercept.
Crossing.
Crossing.
Oh.
So you have the intersection. What's the school at the intersection of?
It's
What?
like Drew Hill something and another street.
And what's the other street? Liberty Heights. So the intersection is where two things, write this word down, overlap. Intersection, overlapping. You have a definition here. Now this is a set definition, and this is, and this is the notation. You don't really have to draw, because we won't really do much that looks like this. But this is a set. The intersection is where they overlap, okay? Intersection, so whenever you hear intersection, think overlapping. No overlapping, no intersection, okay? No overlapping, no intersection. We denote, and when we say we denote, the notation for intersection, I'm sorry, is this upside down U, okay? We also, when we talked about compound sentences, you said it was combining two or more sentences. How did you combine sentences when you had English?
Adding a coordinating conjunction.
Oh my God, girlfriend, talking about adding a coordinating conjunction. Oh, now what is a conjunction? Conjunction, junction. What's your function? What were the conjunctions?
And boy.
And an or. Now see, folks say that math and English ain't connected, but I is telling you they is. Okay? So, we had and or. Those are the perfect two. What kind of conjunctions did you say they were before? Coordinating conjunctions?
I don't know.
Okay, I know they're conjunctions. I'm not sure if they're coordinating conjunctions, but I do know they're conjunctions. Okay, so we have these conjunctions. Now, with intersection, the conjunction in math that we use for intersection is and. Write that down, and.
Can you say the rephrase? State the sentence again.
When we talk about intersection, the conjunction that we use is and. This word right here. And. When we do intersection, we do and. Okay? So if we have two inequalities, and we say x is less than 5 and x is greater than -2, we have now created a compound inequality that is an intersection, and the hint that it's an intersection is the use of the conjunction and. Okay? So when we say intersection, think overlap and. Okay? Y'all got that? You writing that down? So you writing that down? Oh, you wrote it. Okay. So now, let us play. All right. So now this is easy, and it ain't gonna be this easy on the test, but we gotta start you off. Okay. Now, sometimes you'll see the intersection upside down U, or in this case N, or you may see and. They mean the same thing. Okay. So intersection means what again?
Overlap.
Overlap. So in this case, when they mean overlap, what is in both sets? Now y'all don't scream out, look at it, and tell me what's in both sets. Who have I heard from today? Have I heard from all of y'all? Have I heard from my camerawoman?
Yes.
Okay, it was time to hear from you again. Where do they overlap, Miss Miku?
At 1, 2, and 3.
Right. The overlap is 1, 2, and 3. Or we call that the intersection. Okay? Makes sense. Now it's easy when it's sets. It's a little more challenging. Just a little more. I know y'all can handle it though. Just a little more challenging when we do inequalities. All right, so let's look at another slide. But that's just a graph. You wouldn't need to, or a Venn diagram. You're not going to do that. Okay, so this is going back to the solution set of a compound inequality formed with and is the intersection of the two individual sets. So let's look at the two individual sets now. The intersection is the overlapping. So let us do an example. So we know it's a compound inequality because of what? Here, and. When we see and, we think of what?
Intersection.
Intersection and overlap. So what we're going to do, and they ask us to solve and graph. What does solve mean?
Find the intersection.
No, it's like eliminate
Find a solution.
Evaluate.
Oh, y'all, what does solve mean?
Find the answer.
How do we know you have solved an inequality? What does the final line look like when you have solved an inequality?
A variable and a number.
A variable and a number. Where are the variable and the numbers?
One on one side, one another.
One on one side. So and when it's on one side, what do we call the variable when it's on one side? What has happened to the variable?
Isolated.
It's isolated. Now, I'm glad y'all each pick up a part, but can y'all sing choruses by yourselves? Okay, so we want to solve this inequality and we want to solve this inequality for x. I need y'all to do that. If you will solve